What is up, guys? You are now tuned in to the Mike and D Hot Take Show here on the Casual Wrestling YouTube channel. I am your host for the night, the notorious Nerdy D, alongside the one and only Milwaukee Mike. If you're new here, this is a community participation show. We want you guys to drop in and drop your opinions in the chat. You can support the channel with a YouTube membership if you haven't already. And let's jump right into it this week. Mike, it is that time again. Time to set the wrestling world on fire. Time to tickle the brains of the casual wrestling fans. It is time to drop our hottest, sweatiest takes on the community, starting with, I'll let you go first.
Okay. Yeah. So my hot take this week is that Tony Khan absolutely dropped the ball on the new AEW television deal.
Uh-oh.
He 100% fumbled the opportunity, and I think potentially fumbled the bag long term for AEW when it comes to this television deal. Now let me break this down and kind of explain my thoughts. Right. So based on what I've seen online, this is a 3-year deal with a 4th-year option.
Okay.
Right off the bat, when I read that, that tells me that this is a company that's in trouble, because when it comes to television, usually, and I'm not an expert, but usually it's a per episode contract or it's a strict 2-3 year deal. There's no option.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's an option tells me that whoever they partnered with, which I think is Warner Brothers, or is it TNT? Somebody along those lines. Warner Brothers. Right. That tells me that, hey, you've got 3 years to get this thing consistent, get these ratings up and be consistent and bring us revenue. Otherwise, that 4th year is not going to exist. Now, that's not something you're going to see with WWE. I mean, let's put the numbers here, right? $170 million per year. WWE just went to Netflix for, was it $5 billion?
Yeah.
So this is a chess game that WWE and AEW is playing, and AEW has no idea what the fuck chess is at this point.
Yeah, they're not even playing checkers at this point.
No. So I think for me, what AEW should have done, or maybe they should do after this contract's up, is they should do what WWE did in the beginning of the whole streaming era. Make their own app. Have it where that's where their product is streamed weekly, and make it a per month subscription. So now AEW fans will pay what, $10 a month. You get a whole month on their app. You get Dynamite, Collision, all of their pay-per-views. I think that's a way that they can keep their revenue consistent, right? Because as it is right now, or I guess another way they can go is they should have struck a deal with a local television company to get it on local TV on a weekly basis. One of those two options. This does not seem to be a contract that's going to be successful for them, because and again, the thing that I'm kind of eyeing up is that 4th year option. That tells me that this television deal, this company has not a lot of belief in this company, and I think they're going to pull the plug after that 3rd year. And that's just my opinion.
So I'm with you on all of that. What this sounds like to me is a company who sat down at the negotiating table and they were the B-side. Mm-hmm. They were asking, they were begging, they were just give us what can we get? We'll take a prove it deal. Just give me something so that I can save face and I can turn around. I've been talking shit for months and about we have a deal in place. Just give me something that I can turn around to my audience and go, all right, we got something. We're still in business. We're still in here. Because I'm with you. Like, here's the issue is with WB losing the rights to NBA.
Right.
There's not a lot drawing people to TNT at this point. So, I don't know that AEW is a flagship program. I don't know, like it's to me, it is supplemental entertainment for a channel. I don't know that they can build a brand on TBS and TNT, and I think it's True TV, right? True that TV. They're trying to push sports on. I don't see a world where they can sell that as like feature television. The $170 million a year, I think that's generous. I think, when you start looking around, there's kind of a ripple effect, right? It starts with the audience, the live audience. We're seeing that number shrink and shrink and shrink. That's going to carry over to television. It may just be a ripple effect. It may take a little while, but usually it's the calm kind of before the storm that you see the local audiences kind of disappear, and then the television audience starts to dwindle behind that. My issue, Mike, is what was their other choice? I know you say going the like online pay route. I just think Tony Khan sees that as a loss. I think he needs wrestling for Tony Khan is everything the business that surrounds it. I don't think he's interested in truly building a promotion from ground up. That's why I always said when people made the argument that like AEW is doing well for a company that's only 4 or 5 years old, he started with cheat codes, right? Coming from the NFL side, he had relationships with all these television companies.
Yeah.
So he can open a door that any other wrestling company really can't open on a regular basis. And so these cheat codes, these abilities to get in the door, I don't think he likes the idea of doing what like TNA wrestling does. To him, I think he'd rather probably just not be doing it. And so that's what I see from this is I think Tony Khan was willing to take any number that WWB put in front of him as long as it was a number that he could turn around to his audience and say, see, I told you we got it done. The fourth year is weird.
It's weird, man.
Because it's essentially, I mean, it's so bad for AEW. If you all of a sudden are doing extremely well by that third year, then now you're locked into a fourth year for that same $170 million. Like, it's not a player contract. We pretty much know how television works. It's extremely weird to me. Like you said, it's almost like it was just how they kind of backload NFL deals just to make them sound real pretty. But the reality is, at it's like $150 million. I'm rounding down, but that's a $450 million 3-year contract. That's not what he's been fucking teasing everybody.
No, and I think for me, you mentioned TNA. I think they've got a consistent strategy down in TNA. It seems like to me when I see clips and highlights of TNA, they have a consistent audience weekly, and it seems like they have a good, streaming audience on a weekly basis as well. I think, with Tony Khan, obviously they have a bigger budget than TNA. Why not pick and choose from TNA and similar companies and situations like that to try and grow this thing, or at least, find yourself in a situation where success seems to be imminent? Because like I said, the 3-year with the 4th-year option, to me, that's just a television company telling you, hey, sure, we'll give it to you, but we'll see when that 4th year comes.
I agree with you 100%. I'm in agreement that the correct model is to go online. I'll give you one further. The correct model would be to go partner with a streaming platform like Twitch and turn AEW into a social media experiment where people like me and you are allowed to watch and comment while it's going on, and we bring our audience of 200 people to watch that show on a weekly. And I know 200 sounds funny, but like when you're talking the numbers that AEW has, every fucking 200 matters.
Yeah.
And so if I was Tony Khan, I would go that route and I would just open it up to like the IWC and go, look, I'm going to give you the product on Twitch on a weekly basis. We'll run some advertising through Twitch and we're going to let you guys commentate. Right. You guys do these live streams, do these Manning casts, do these things. I'm with you. That is the model that suits AEW, who has a hardcore fan base. Let's be realistic right now, Mike. They're not going to go discover some hidden wrestling audience.
No.
I think everybody has an opinion now. You either like AEW or you don't. There's not 2 million people sitting around that they're going to go, that WB is going to go, oh, your audience is growing on a weekly basis. They're pretty settled in. I think they have their core audience at this point.
Yeah, and another thing that's kind of, I think, hurting Tony Khan and AEW is he goes online and copyrights everybody and everything that they try and post online in terms of video clips or like reactions. I know there's a couple of wrestling streamers on TikTok and our line that they don't even touch the AEW product because they're getting flagged or they're getting copyrighted. And it's like, why? That's exposure for your product. I don't get it. I don't get the strategy. Obviously, the strategy shows here. TV's like, hey, 3 years, fourth year, we'll see.
He's just so protective of something that doesn't need to be protected, right? It's
right.
Like, it's the old thing, like, everybody wants to copy, everybody wants to be me. No, right now you just need exposure. Like, he needs to quit worrying about making money and worry about exposure, getting this product into. If there's 500,000 fans out there that haven't been exposed, figure out how to get your product into those hands. I don't know how to say this. Kalile Fleming on TikTok asked, why don't they reach out to WWE for a working relationship? I think they burned that bridge.
It's not going to happen.
I think they burned that bridge. I think all of the going on TV and talking all that shit and taking the shots there was that little moment in time, Mike. There was that little moment in time where it felt like they were closing the gap. Now, the gap was never really closed, but there was just a perception that they were like, Jericho was on radio talking about, pretty soon, within 6 months, we're going to have a Dynamite that's better than Monday Night Raw. Well, that shit never even came close to happening. But they got a little cocky, and they fucked up any outside chance of that relationship. Now, it's almost impossible for the little guy who's talked shit to ever go mend that relationship with the big dog who, like you said, we're signing $5 billion Netflix deals. We have no need for you. In fact,
yeah,
go for it.
And I think if you're WWE, like, why have them piggyback you? Like, we're not gonna give you that extra exposure. I mean, go get it yourself. And
now WWE's got the relationship with TNA. So all that's done is what's literally going to happen is in the next 3 or 4 years, as this thing plays out, AEW's going to lose some of its roster based on this number, based on this 170. They can't keep the 120 people they have, so they're going to trim that roster. WWE is going to be able to cherry pick. We want this guy. We want this guy. WWE is going to be able to go, hey, you go to TNA. We can bring you in. We can work with you. You can build up that little company right there, and then we'll see. It's kind of a tryout deal. And so there just isn't in the cog of the WWE kind of landscape. It makes no sense to, especially now that AEW's gone off this deep end of like sticking needles in guys' mouths and head chair shots, with WWE's kind of distancing itself like, hey man, they're the extreme now. They are ECW, and if that's your brand, go watch it, but we don't want anything to do with that. So I'm with you on that.
Yep.
All right, my hot take this week, Mike, is I think Triple H is using amnesia booking on us. I started going back and looking at things, and I think he's now booking on an amnesia principle. And the fact is, he's booking with no regard to our intelligence.
Okay.
He literally is. He has a long-term story in mind, 6 months down the road, and he's going to get there, but he doesn't really give a shit about the story beats that happen in between if they make sense when he gets to the final destination. He is entertaining in the moment and building towards these big events. He's giving us things like Sami Zayn in his hometown. Even if it doesn't make sense, it's fan service. He's trying to build it up. What I'm looking at here is things like, let's talk Sami Zayn and Gunther, right?
Yeah.
This is fan service. This shouldn't have happened yet. I agree that this should happen. I agree that in the arc of Gunther, Sami has to come back around. But Sami Zayn just lost to Braun Breaker a month ago. And so amnesia booking is we're supposed to forget that, and now Sammy's first in line for the World Heavyweight Championship. What does that say about the World Heavyweight Championship to us? It says, number one, there's no real contenders on Monday Night Raw, and number two, it's now starting the trend again where wins and losses don't matter. It's just who you have some story with. Mm-hmm. And so it looks to me like Triple H is kind of, he's booking on this idea that I can book a match tonight, right? Jey Uso versus whoever, and 3 weeks from now, you won't remember that. You won't keep that in mind. But the problem to me is there are a certain amount of fans who do keep that in mind. And we talk about like the Bloodline storyline. You posted something in the Discord that I thought was extremely interesting, and that is that Jey Uso has lost a title shot for every title in WWE since going on a singles run, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Then on top of that, he lost Money in the Bank, and he lost King of the Ring.
Yep.
And we're supposed to believe that he is en route back to the Bloodline, And we're just supposed to use amnesia to go, that last year didn't happen. It doesn't matter that he got his ass whooped by every other person. He's still supposed to be important. At this point, the story with Roman needs to be Roman looking him at the eyes and telling him, I told you couldn't get it done.
That'd be it.
I told you were going to go try, and you lost. Yeah. You lost world heavyweight titles. You lost intercontinental titles. You lost United States Championship matches. You lost WWE title. You couldn't get it done. That needs to be the story, but instead, we're going to get some feel-good moment between, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, where we're supposed to forget that we're just supposed to forget all this shit that happened. I go back to even like Chad Gable, right? Chad Gable was on a little bit of a hot streak. I thought he was going to beat Gunther. I thought he was the guy that I had lined up to beat Gunther, right? And so his girl, his baby girl was crying on TV. We had all this great storytelling going on. We even transitioned that into the Otis stuff, which I thought was good, right? And then Triple H goes, hold on a minute. Let's take a side quest here. Let's go to Spirit Halloween. Let's bring in the Wyatt Six. Let's do some storyline that makes no fucking sense, right? We'll run it for 6 weeks. We won't really have a clear winner in the story. It'll just kind of have happened. And now it looks like we're supposed to amnesia this out of our mind and believe that American Made is completely fine and the Wyatt Six will just show back up when they want to. To me, that type of stuff, like, it just leaves me scratching my head going, what is the overall plan? What is the end plan for the Wyatt Six? Like, am I just supposed to, are they just an attraction? Are they the circus? They're going to show up every 6 months. We enjoy them for the 2 weeks that they're there, and then they leave town. I'm okay with that, but we need some direction. I feel like, to me right now, that Triple H gets all this credit because SummerSlam, great, right? WrestleMania, great. Next WrestleMania, probably going to be fucking fantastic. But the reality is, some of these story beats that we're hitting in between, you have to use amnesia in order to enjoy them.
Yeah, that's a good breakdown. For me, I think I've been kind of on this point now, maybe the last month or so. I think you got to stop the brand split. I think you're going to have Raw, NXT, SmackDown. You can have people just jumping around. You can still have your general managers. They're gonna man the shows. They'll set up the matches for their particular, brand. But, a group like American Made, what really can they do on Raw after what they just went through? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, are you going to have Chad Gable go after the IC title again? Are you going to have Chad Gable go after Gunther again? Like, this would be a prime time to, hey, all right, let's send him to SmackDown. Now you can go after the US Championship. Now you can go after Cody Rhodes. Instead we're just kind of stuck here. And I think that's what often ends up having us go through this amnesia booking, is because a guy like Sami Zayn, well, he's on Raw, and you're seeing where you're stuck on specific rosters, how you're seeing these replays of, matches, or you're seeing, your amnesia booking where, he loses to Gunther, or he beats Gunther, and now he's going against Gunther. And it's just, a lot of this could be avoided if it was just like, hey, we can pluck this guy here, put him over here. We can send this person to NXT. Hey, we got this TNA partnership too. Let's, maybe send somebody here. Hey, Seth Rollins, why don't we go, SmackDown for a little bit? Just different scenarios, because now that opens up a whole thing where you can do different stories. You have different matches, except, you're stuck with Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed for, 5 weeks in a row, or Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade for 5 weeks in a row. Let's kind of mix it up where we don't have brand specific rosters and kind of, dive into that. I maybe that helps. Maybe it doesn't.
No, I'm with you. I'm listening, and I'm following along 100% because I think you're right. What we're falling into is what you said. It's almost like a guy's trapped, right? Sami Zayn loses and there's nowhere to go.
Right.
So you literally, you have history, and I think Triple H is relying on history, and he's going, all right, we'll circle back to it. We'll all right, bring him back. Because I'm with you, right? Great play for like Chad Gable would be LA Knight. That story's great, but we're locked into these weird rosters. I saw We Too Deep here say, I don't understand why we have rosters and GMs if we aren't going to make trades and releases. Do you think it fixes it? If the reality was, like, after every premium live event, there was kind of a transaction report that showed up, and it was like, look, because Sammy lost, I feel like I'm going to trade him over. He needs I think that could help.
Yeah, and I also think like we need to start giving people breaks after like big losses, right? Like like a Chad Gable, he loses the IC title to Gunther. Like let's hide him for a little bit.
Yeah.
Give him a month. Instead, he's right back on TV. Somebody like Sami Zayn, it's like he loses to Braun Breaker. You know, let's let him sit for a little bit. Instead, it's like 2 weeks later he's going after like I just think there's different little minute things that you can do differently to kind of avoid this kind of vortex of amnesia booking. And I think a lot of it boils down to the rosters being locked into brand. And I also think let's make sure that we get this person on TV as much as we can instead of like, hey, maybe let's build him up being away for a little bit. Like Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
When he comes back, that's just gonna be fire.
Definitely. And they have enough people that they can rotate people in no issue. Let me ask you this. I know We Too Deep is gonna hate this because he's not a big fan of the ranking system. But do you think there's a world where like guys had to declare for a title and that's how you decided what show you're on? Is right now I'm throwing my name into the IC title pool and then matches do matter. My issue right now is like the best of 5 between Carmelo and Andrade. We were never told that was going to lead to a United States Championship.
Right,
so to me, that was just repetitive booking. If we were told that, hey, these guys are going to have a series of 5 matches and they're accumulating points, which are going to raise them through a ranking system, which the winner then I'm invested in every one of those matches. It's like, it would be like playing an NBA playoff series and not knowing what for. Yeah. Here's a 5-game series. If you win, you might go to round 2. If not, you might just go back into another pool of more games. I feel like I understand how ranking systems, if not used correctly, can become a hindrance, but I also feel like within storytelling, you can get creative and have guys move up and down these ranking systems. I am a big fan of ranking systems and guys declaring themselves for, I'm going to put my name into the United States Championship pool, which in turn puts me on Friday Night Smackdown. And now I will fight other guys for the next couple of weeks that are in this pool.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, like as fans, we know who's connected to what title, right? Like there's a mid-tier roster, there's an upper echelon of roster, so we know who these people are. I'm with you. Instead of doing like a tournament for the IC title and then having a fatal 4-way match, it's like, hey, let's say, hey, this person's on a kind of a nice run. This person's got a little fan support. Let's get them on TV for the next couple weeks. Let's see, look what happens, and then like they can face each other, and that winner is the number one. Like whatever happened to number 1 contenders?
Exactly, but why stop at 1? That's my point. Is so. Let's just hypothetically talk about you've got 1 through 6, right?
Yeah.
So that way, if I just randomly on a Monday Night Raw, I have a match to fill, I can put 5 versus 6, and that match matters because I sell it as winner of this match will then face 3 next week, who then is looking at a number 1. It's just UFC, right? That's all UFC does because UFC rankings don't really fucking matter. Dana picks whoever he wants to be in world title shots, but it gives just organizations to like. If you have a guy like Braun Breaker, right, who's outside of the top 10, but he comes in, he's fresh, he's hot, you can quickly run that guy through. All right, he beat this guy. He beat number 12. He beat number 9. He beat number 7. He beat number 5. Let's give him a title shot. I think for storytelling purposes, if it's done correctly, it can work. But let's not kid ourselves. I mean, UFC uses it for storytelling purposes.
Oh, yeah. And, for me, it just like, it comes down to just common sense, right? Like we don't need to have 5 matches between Carmelo Hayes and Andrade. We could have done 1 in a rubber match. Like you're dragging this stuff out, and it's just like at some point it's like now we're not even excited for this US title shot because we've seen again, like I said, the use of the number 1 contender back in the day, at least it was they would win a match. And they would have like a month then to build with the champion, and then the payoff was on a pay-per-view. Yes. But now it's like we have a tournament. There's a fatal 4-way match, and then the next week you're facing this one person.
Yeah.
like what you know.
It I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the answer is, right? Because it does feel like it feels like Triple H wants to fill make every SmackDown, every Raw, and every premium live event have at least one match that makes you want to watch. And I think you can still do that, like you said. I'm just as interested in a number one contenders main event on Monday Night Raw if it means something.
Right.
If we legitimately mean it means something. But if it is just a bullshit fatal 4-way, I just picked 4 random people because, you know. And then we get into the other argument, which we can have another time, is the reality is we know who's up for, like, Braun Breaker's not losing his title. Unless there's a fucking promotion in it to go to the next title, right? We really probably don't believe LA Knight's losing, right?
Yeah, and that's the big problem nowadays, is because, you know, 10, 15 years ago, you'd get a title match and it would be shaky. It would be a little 50-50.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's like, you know, we know who's gonna win. Let's hope it's a good match.
You had all these guys on the. You had Kane, Undertaker,
Triple
H. At any point in time, this guy could lose it, and 2 weeks later, he can win it back. And it feels like the IWC swell of, like, the only way titles matter is if there's these prestigious title runs. I think that swayed the business a little bit, whereas I prefer, and maybe I like UFC. I like the idea that, like, Sugar Sean's the favorite and everybody loves him. He fucking gets his ass whipped. He's not the champion anymore. He's got to figure out how to get back there.
Yeah. Perfect example would be next Monday, Jay winning.
Yeah, or Cody losing. Like, I think it's time for Cody to lose. Let's have Cody lose. Add just a little bit of controversy in there for him. Have him have to circle back. I mean, we talk about, like, Solo Sikoa could have used a title run to build him up.
And it doesn't have to be this whole, like, oh, he lost the title, now wrestle. Like, he can still be the WrestleMania plan. He can still go into WrestleMania champion.
100%.
Just give him 2-3 months off.
Yeah, and let's have him fight back to... Like, it's like a mini boss, right? Like, in order to get to that big main event, maybe he has to Solo cheated his way. You got the whole fucking bloodline. You got a million ways you can make it happen. Have them cheat him out of the title. Give Solo 1 month, 60 days to be champion, and have Cody circle back around. And he win the title, and it feels fresh again. I don't like this 100%. Idea that we watch premium live events, both of us, and we look at them and go, Bailey's had it long enough. It feels like it could be time. You start judging based on this person's had it long enough, they now could lose.
Right.
Like, we're kind of on a timer with Nia Jax, right? We all kind of assume she's got to have it a certain amount of time before she loses. But reality is, Tiffy should just cash in randomly. We'd all lose our shit. It would be exciting.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
All right, Mike, let's switch over to our Would You Rathers. You want me to go first or you want to go first?
I can go first.
Go for it.
So, all right, I got an A and B.
Okay.
So you can go. You can choose. You can choose A or B.
Okay. Wait. Hold on. My bad. I thought you meant there was 2 A. Like, I thought you meant it's either A or so I could choose A or B.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Right. Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. B. Okay.
B.
So my B. Would you rather today is, would you rather be a member of the Shield or be a member of Evolution?
Okay. Interesting. I have to break those down in my head. Being a member of Shield means that you were pretty much an equal in the group.
Sure.
Being a member of Evolution means that you fall into a hierarchy, right? You're either the young rookie or you're the old. The chat is saying Evolution. I don't know why they're just jumping easy Evolution.
I think because with Evolution, there was that hierarchy, but as time went on, you knew, like, all right, Batista's champion. Like, he was brought into that. Randy Orton was brought into it. With the Shield, it was kind of like you didn't really know right off the bat, like, what the direction was going to be. I think with Evolution, they kind of declared themselves from the jump, like what this was, what it was going to be. I think with Evolution, well, I think with both groups, right? I would probably say outside of Moxley, just because of his departure from WWE, every member of both groups is Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so I mean I see that is that both groups you got a solid so Wavy D saying they had swag, money, titles, women power, and respect.
Yeah. I mean, Evolution was really like in their time. It was, I mean, the theme song hit, and it's just like you knew what was happening. And then like the fall off of the Evolution was even spectacular. You know, Batista turning on Triple H and you know, yeah, Randy Orton getting turned on.
Which I'd rather be a part of, right?
That is true.
To be a part of.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that for me, I would say Evolution just because, again, similar reasons to what Wavy D just said, but I also think like back then, being in a group such as that with so much like power and hierarchy, I think you almost had a guarantee to at least be a champion or boost into success. With the Shield, they were dominant, but like you didn't necessarily know what the end game was.
But I'm gonna swing you a different direction here.
Okay.
I don't think I could last fucking 10 minutes around fucking Randy Orton and those kind of like those arrogant ass fucking people.
Okay.
I mean, that's a fair point. Personalities, I don't like. I've seen Roman. I think I could hang with Roman. Roman seems like a cool dude. Seth seems pretty straightforward. Mox's a little crazy, but you need one of those fucking dudes in your clique, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what. So the full group of Evolution, I want to make sure I'm correct. Was Orton, Batista, Triple H, and Flair, right?
That was the group. Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't hang with Ric Flair, man. I could not hang with Ric Flair. I couldn't fucking do it. Like I couldn't do it.
But back then he wasn't today's Ric Flair.
I don't give a fuck. He's always been some form of Ric Flair.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't drink, Mike. I don't drink.
Yeah.
I don't fucking go out. So I don't like Ric Flair seems wild to me. Like he's getting you into some shit. And he's getting me like I feel like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, we're chill. We're gonna we probably go sports bar, hang out a little bit, watch a game. We're home. We're ready for the next night of wrestling. I feel like with Ric Flair, someone's doing coke that night. Someone's fucking dragging off the bat. Like you're not sure if Triple H is making it back to the ring for the. I'm not. So I just for my Shield? Personal lifestyle, I'm going the Shield.
Okay, I'd go Evolution.
Plus, I don't have to wear fucking underwear to wrestle. I can wear fucking full on tactical SWAT gear.
That's fair. Hey, you're making fair points.
I'm going
you're
with
fair
that.
Points.
I'm going with that. What are you going to do when CWC takes over Vegas weekend? I'm driving you motherfuckers around. I'm getting everybody home safely. That's what's happening, Wavy D.
No, yeah.
I'm designated fucking D. I make sure people get home safely. I'm not saying I won't go out. I'm just saying that like Ric Flair is on another level. Like Ric Flair is going fucking. He's the guy who drugs you. Like fucking, like you don't drink here. Fucking pop. Now you're on acid tonight or some shit.
Yeah. I got you.
That's my point with fucking Ric Flair. So that's personally I'm going. What are you? Your Evolution?
I'm Evolution. Evolution. I think I vibe more with that. It's just like the Shield's cool, but like I just feel like Evolution. You know, the suits, the whole
suit though.
Yeah.
I put on a suit not be an Evolution. I could after I take my tactical gear off, I can put my fucking suit on and go home.
Yeah, I don't know. I grew up more with Evolution than I did with the Shield. So
I got you. I get you. What did Lauren say? I'll drive Dustin. Then what? We'll all be no. Lauren can't drive. Don't ever let Lauren drive.
Okay, noted.
All right. So my would you rather is you are starting a wrestling company today.
Okay.
And you get to take. I have 5 choices here. You get to take an either or from each one of these situations here.
Okay.
Starting a wrestling company today, you get to either take Logan Paul or Will Ospreay.
I'm gonna get shitted on for this. I'm gonna take Will Ospreay. I'm gonna take Will Ospreay just because I think he brings a fandom to my company that I need to get off the ground.
Now you see Logan talking about going full time starting 2025.
That's true. That's fine. But so as of today, I need Ospreay to bring that group to my company.
Interesting.
I need Ospreay.
Turn of events.
I need Ospreay.
See, I think I go Logan Paul. Full time Logan Paul to me.
Now if If he was full time, yes, 100%.
So you're saying as of right now, part-time Logan
as of
Paul.
right now, I can't take part-time Logan Paul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Britt Baker or Tiffany Stratton?
Tiffany Stratton, because again, I need that following. And I think when it's all said and done, Tiffany will probably have more success.
But you wrestling. Are noted as going on record. We don't know about her loyalty to this business.
That is, I am on record with that. But I'm speaking strictly as of today. I think you would probably have to go Tiffany because of age, and then I think when it's said and done, I think, and then the following too. So okay. Yeah.
Bryan Danielson or CM Punk?
CM Punk, because I think Danielson, he's known more just to go out and wrestle. I think CM Punk, you get the entertainment value. He's gonna cut the promos. He's going to give you a good match. Now he's frail.
Yeah.
So that's questionable. Yeah. But I mean, if I'm getting the CM Punk that we got last night, I'm good with that.
I agree with you there.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
I'm agree there. Swerve Strickland or Montez Ford?
This one is tough now. Okay. I'm gonna go Montez, and I'm gonna give him the push that he deserves.
I like that.
That's where I'm going.
I'm
going with that.
I think he has the higher ceiling.
Yeah. I'm going Montez.
I know there's people who are. I see like Manny in the chat said Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland. Nothing wrong with taking Swerve Strickland. It's just an either or.
Yeah, I'm not hating on Swerve. Like that's like a kind of a nail biter one right there.
Yeah, I tried my best to make these difficult. I didn't want to just like age for Bryan and CM Punk, Britt Baker and Tiffany. I thought you get kind of an established versus somebody who may not be as into the business. Logan Paul and Will Ospreay. I think that's a pretty like one's hardcore wrestling, one is very talented but not there all the time.
Yeah.
Let's do last one here. MJF or Braun Breaker? You're starting a company.
Yeah, I know. So, because I picked CM Punk, I know I have somebody that's going to be on the mic and be good on the mic. What I seen from Braun Breaker last night was very promising. He does not blink. Like he is just pure talent, like athleticism. Clearly on the mic now. I think he's got it all. I'm gonna take Braun.
He's got elements of Cena. He's got elements of Roman Reigns. He's
young. He's young. I'm going Braun.
With you. I'm Braun Breaker. I think you can build. If I'm taking one name from this whole list,
Braun.
I think it's Braun Breaker. I think it's
Braun.
That dude. Wavy D's saying MJF easy.
Why is it easy?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd be wondering why that's easy, because for me, I'm almost thinking the easy answer is Braun, because let's be real here. What if Braun Breaker had the green light to get on the mic like MJF does?
I agree.
I think that changes a lot.
Dead Chef wants to know the topic. Dead Chef, we're doing either or. You have to pick between one or two people, and right now we're on MJF or Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I think Braun could do everything that MJF does, and if he had the green light on the mic, they would be right with each other.
Yeah, I mean, so watching MJF, and that's been one of the only things I'll tune into AEW for. He yells a lot. He says the obviously like villainous thing to say most of the time. I don't know how much is talent, like you said, or how much is like he has no filter.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine Roman Reigns if he was just told you could say anything?
Like, what's the, like, wrestling wise, like in the ring, what's the equivalent to MJF? Because to me, like MJF, nothing like jumps out at you ring wise. Like, is he like an Ilya Dragunov?
So I don't know about Ilya. To me, MJF slow, methodical, can tell a story through like actions. But yeah, it's not. I don't think MJF appeals to like the casual wrestling fan. He doesn't do anything flashy enough. The like hardcore wrestling fan can go the psychology of what he does, and it's old school. But I mean, I think it's like Gunther, to be honest with you.
So I was saying like his equivalent would be like
talented in the ring, but does it translate to every? Gunther's talented in the ring, but I don't think it translates to everybody.
Like, is this equivalent like the Miz maybe in the ring?
No, I think the Miz is better in the ring.
You think so?
Yeah, flashier. I'm not gonna say better because I don't know what's better, but I think the Miz is faster paced.
Okay.
The Miz has some of these moves that are so stupid, where like you bounce off the ropes twice and kick a guy in the head. To me, MJF doesn't have enough of that like builds the crowd up.
So is he like a Ilya Dragunov?
I just don't have enough of Ilya to know. But to me, Ilya has such a level of intensity that I've seen just in a short time. I don't know.
Okay.
You all got to watch MJF. He is the green light on the other side of the sand. I feel like Wavy D's just full heel turn at this point. I don't even know if I can take it serious.
Yeah, I don't know, because like you'd have to really sell me on MJF outside of the mic skills.
He said versatile wrestler, can have a 5-star with anyone, just as young, can be face or heel, can talk the talk, can wrestle, high fly, hardcore, and everything. Does MJF high fly?
Well, out of that breakdown that you just gave, like what does Braun not do that's not on that list?
I think he's messing with us, Mike.
Well, he's 100% messing with us.
He's heel turned on us now, and I can't take him serious.
Yeah, no, he said he's a
modern day HBK Miz Randy Orton.
Nah, he's fucking with us now. Nah. See now. So every now and then, like you'll think he's serious, but then he'll say something
he goes one step too far.
I got you now. Yeah. All right.
Let's do our class battle here.
Let's do it.
All right, so we're 2 down. We did 87 and we did 85. Now we're on. This is the class of 1990.
Okay.
Class of 1990 is Io Sky, Bo Dallas, Montez Ford, Ricky Starks, Angelo Dawkins, Phoenix from AEW, Grayson Waller, Swerve Strickland, Lacey Evans, Ludwig Kaiser, and Zelina Vega.
Holy fuck. and I say that it's because like none of them like really pop off.
Nobody separates from the group.
That's gonna be the hard one. Okay, so right off the bat,
who's team captain? Who pops? Is it Swerve?
That was the first name that I went back to. Like he's on the 5. He's in the 5. Swerve's in the 5.
Is he the only world champion on this group?
Well, EO.
Okay, EO and Swerve are the 2 world champions, right? Because Bo Dallas, Montez Ford, Ricky Starks, Angelo Dawkins, Phoenix, Grayson Waller, Lacey Evans, Kaiser, and Zelina Vega.
Okay. Swerve's on the list.
Is he captain? Are we putting him in the 1 spot? I feel like whoever we put in the 1 spot is captain in the ship. Yeah. I feel like he is.
I think you probably put him captain. EO's got to be on the list. So that's 2.
Yeah, so we filled 1 and 2. Any way to display the names? Let me see if I can do this.
The next name that I'm kind of at right now is Ludwig.
So me too, and I don't know if that's personal bias or
I think it is. I think it is personal bias, and I think that's okay.
Yeah,
I think that's okay because I mean, like I'm not putting Grayson Waller on the list. He annoys the fuck out of me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like Montez, you said Montez is on here?
Montez is there. Ricky Starks, Bo Dallas. Do we give him Uncle Howdy?
I'm not putting Bo Dallas on this list. I'm not putting him on this list.
Zelina Vega. Nobody pops off. I'm with you. It's just like, a bunch of like.
Zelina hasn't wrestled that long. I mean, maybe she did before WWE, and I don't know about it. But like,
I know what you
mean. She was with Andrade for a long period of time, and then she got onto the main roster, and it's like very sporadic. Where I'm at now is like, if you put Montez on the list, do you have to put Angelo on the list then?
No, I don't think so. Because I think you can clearly see who the star of the group is.
Okay.
Let's go Montez on 3.
Let's go Montez. So we have Swerve, EO.
Wavy D's calling for EO.
He's probably saying Phoenix.
Zelina,
he probably said Phoenix.
Ford and Starks.
Okay.
Deep saying JD McDonough is 1990. I just quickly go through a list, so maybe we can add him. We'll add him here. Does that change anything for you?
Okay, so all right. Let's get to 4 here. Let's get 4, then 5 could be the debate. So
okay.
So
who's 4?
Swerve, EO, Montez. Swerve, EO, Montez.
Ricky Starks? He's been a world champion, hasn't he?
So put Ricky Starks at 4.
Okay.
So then 5, the debate then is it JD or is it Ludwig? I think that's where you go.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
Is it JD? Is it JD or is it Ludwig?
Ooh.
That's where we're at now. That's the hard one. That's the debate.
I immediately just naturally go to Ludwig.
Naturally, I know
the arguments can be made. I didn't watch JD in NXT, so I don't know anything about that situation.
JD he had a very good run in NXT. Almost too long.
Almost too.
Like he kind of fell into that holding pattern, like where they hold somebody too long.
Yeah. Hasn't done much main roster. He's been he got his ass bullied by Damian Priest for the first 6 weeks.
So are we doing this? So okay. Here's the next evolution of this debate. Do we judge them now just based on their main roster run?
No,
so
I think because
they both had NXT runs. So is the capper now what they've done on the main roster?
I don't think so. Way I look at this is, we know at the end of this we're putting all these teams up against each other. Who gives this team the best chance to get voted forward?
Okay, so this is recency bias, 100%. But I think, in my mind, Ludwig has a better probability of becoming a world champion than JD does.
That's the same argument I'll make. Is when I see Ludwig, I immediately go, guy who just needs a little bit of time to get to the main spot. When I see JD, I go, it's a coin flip. I don't know where he ends up.
Like at minimum, Ludwig becomes an IC champion at some point.
Definitely.
JD, he's been a tag champion. I don't know that he elevates to a mid-card title.
And I think he's been a tag champion kind of by proxy. I'm not willing to say, he's kind of fell into this situation.
I think, okay, yeah, Ludwig's 5. Ludwig's 5.
I like it.
Ludwig's 5, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Swerve Strickland's captaining the team.
Yeah.
Io Sky, Montez Ford, Ricky Starks, Ludwig Kaiser.
So it started off shaky with just the list of names, but I think that's a solid.
I think when you see the pictures, right? Because you got to see the imagery. When you see Swerve and Montez, there's a lot of potential on this list.
This could be like, like the NCAA tournament. This could be like the number 64.
Mm-hmm.
getting the upset on the one. It could happen. We got to see what happens.
And there's the world where we look back at this 5 years from now, and Swerve Strickland's been a big deal, Montez has been a big deal, Ricky Starks has been a big deal. This group has potential.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Wavy D's,
I like it.
Wavy D's campaigning for Bo Dallas.
Timeout. Timeout.
I gave him permissions to give timeouts, so now he has the authority to time out other people.
Wavy on something, man. He's been on something lately. We gotta figure him out.
What it was is we contested his baddie list.
Yeah,
now
he's
on a rampage. He's
on a rampage. He's gone stone cold on us. That's what he's done.
Yep.
It's
definitely
he's the yeah.
All right, Swerve Strickland, EO Sky, Montez Ford, Ricky Starks, Ludwig Kaiser. That is your class of 1990.
I'm good with that.
We Too Deep threw in last minute that Anthony Bowens is 1990. I think I saw him, and he didn't move the needle enough for me to throw him on this list. Maybe that's my bad.
Yeah.
All right, you got anything else?
No, man. I just, everybody that hasn't been signed up for the Discord, hop up in there. Up in there. Discord. I mean, it'll get you through the slow parts of Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. We got a great little hangout going here on the post shows. I did throw a suggestion in there.
So Mike, I tried this. Nobody fucking showed up for me. I said we could do it audio only. We could do a Discord room where we just record it for 45 minutes and everybody.
So Dead Chef said he would do it. He just doesn't want he just wants to
I get it 100%. That's so initially I was pushing for like a web show, but then I thought a lot of people don't want to fucking be front and center in front of a camera. They just want to talk.
Yeah,
and so I think we should do an audio only roundtable.
We could do that. But I do think there's a world where me, you, Deep, Wavy, Chef, who else has been pretty active in the post shows?
There's quite a few.
Bobert.
Yeah.
He's been active.
To realize who the fuck Bobert was.
Yeah. I think there's a world where it's like me, you, Deep, Wavy. Maybe we do like video, and then like we have
everybody else pop in. I'm fine with that.
Pop in with the typing. Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
We'll figure it out. We'll chat.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, but that's all we got today. Thank you for hanging out. You're invited to the rest of the week's shows, which is the Friday night SmackDown after show. Next week we got the Raw after show. We've got the Hot Take show with Mike and D. And we've got, today's Tuesday, so I got the Nerdy D pod tomorrow night. We'll be talking about some off-topic stuff there.
There you go.
But for now, that's all we got. The party never stops in the Discord. Like, share, and comment. I am Nerdy D. That's my guy, Milwaukee Mike, and we are out of here.